I want to invite you to where we started this morning was in Psalm 100. And the first line of Psalm 100 says, "Shout for joy, all the earth." And I just wondered if you would do that with me. Would you think a minute about what it is that you would like to shout out to God? And I'm going to count to 3 and just invite you to do that. If you want to stand up, you can. But it's just hard for me to think about us singing those songs and not offering some kind of glorious shout to the Lord this morning. So I don't know what that looks like from Texas to Oklahoma to Kansas or Oregon or New York. What does it look like for you to shout out to the Lord? But on the count of 3, would you just do something with me? So, okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Woohoo! All right, thank you. This morning I have the privilege of introducing to you J.J. Davis, or Coach Davis. I actually don't know JJ, but he came as a recommendation from Scott Post, from Coach Post. And so I haven't even told you this yet, but a kid that used to be in my youth group, his daughter Danielle, is playing for you this year, I think. Yep. Long time ago. Anyhow, Coach Davis is the all-time winningest basketball coach at Neosho Community College, which is in Chinook, Kansas. He's the most winningest coach in women's basketball history there. He's a Wichita native of North High School. I'm a North High grad. I'm pretty excited about this. So, yeah, North Highers over there. Anybody? No, really? That was really sad. JJ's going to tell us what it's like to come from the Wichita area, some lessons learned through basketball on life, and how he's built a basketball program and community that has national prominence, and maybe tell us a little bit about Inspire 1 Million campaign. But most of all, he's going to tell us about a story of how God transformed his life. So I want to pray for JJ this morning, and bow your heads with me. God, we thank you for JJ's divine appointment here with us today and all the things it took to get him here. Lord, I just pray that every word from his mouth and all the meditations of our collective hearts would be pleasing to you this morning, our rock and our redeemer. We shout for joy to you for the work that you have done in your hands in JJ's life and our lives. Come, Lord, open our hearts and our ears to hear your word and what you have for us. In your name we pray. Amen. Will you welcome JJ this morning?
Thank you. Just wanted to talk to you guys, man. My mission in life is to inspire 1 million people, right? And I try to do that as I go around. I'm a motivational speaker. I get to go around the world. I'm part of America's team. I'm part of Point Guard College basketball, and I get to do that mission when I go around the country talking to basketball players, prisoners, probation officers, probationers, basically. So I want to tell you the story of how God changed me. You know, I don't know what this is going to be like for some of y'all in here that are further along in your walk. Maybe it will give you some grace to those people that you struggle with. Maybe it'll give you some of that grace when you see somebody and maybe you won't judge them, right? I say my story now. I got baptized 4 years ago. Probably 6 years ago, I'd never been in a church in my life. I didn't step foot in a church. My pastor, DJ, he tells the story all the time. His son coached with me, and he said to me, "Hey, coach, man, I think you ought to go to church." I said, "Man, bro, I love you, but I don't know." I said, "I don't know. I ain't been to a church, man." And he said, "Well, this is what I want to tell you. If you'll just go and hang out, I just want you to meet my dad." Right? And this is what I think Christian, and this is what I think kingdom citizen, because when I was standing outside that door of the church, I didn't know if I wanted to go in. And the kingdom citizen that my pastor was, he said, "Man, come on in, coach." I said, "Pastor, if I tell you my story, you won't want me to come in." He said, "Man, if you tell me your story, you're just going to be like everybody else." So the coolest thing that he did, and I don't know if it happens here at your church or whatever, but it always seems like the more saved and more Christian you are, the further you set back in the church. That's where I wanted to sit. I was scared. I was nervous. And now that we do this thing on Monday, we call it Second Sunday. And so I'm in charge of setting people. So if I've seen you before, you definitely got to set up front. Right? And I love it because I love the elephant in the room. I love telling people, hey, no, I've seen you before. Let's go. You coming up here with me. Right? And I think that's part of my mission. And I'm blessed, man, because normally I do this presentation just with prisoners. And as I go through this presentation today, you'll understand why I do it with prisoners. You'll understand why I do it with foster kids. You'll understand why God has saved my life. Okay? So I call it miracle. I'm going to try to figure out how to do this. Nope. Yep. Nope. Next slide. There we go. So anyone can be a light. And what I mean by that, man, is anybody can inspire somebody. I tell people all the time, and it's a thing that I do at Point Guard College all the time. Last summer, I got 24 different 32-ounce drinks just for free because all I did was say the person's name and say, man, you sure look good today. Every time that I go into a convenience store, I tell them, hey, you know what? I hope you have a blessed day. And whatever her name is, Mark, Tina, whoever. I say, man, you sure look good today. That smile is great on you. And it's crazy. And I didn't believe it when they told me, but I really did get 20. I counted them. I got 24 free drinks just because I gave a compliment, just because I gave them some light, maybe just because I made them smile that day. How many times do you guys wake up every single day, man, and you don't even tell yourself you love yourself? You don't even say you love yourself. How can you love anybody else if you don't love yourself? I don't know. I'm not the brightest. Ask my players. I don't know how I became the all-time winningest coach at both places I've been at. Thank God I got good players. Good luck tonight, fellas. I hope you beat Southwestern. All right? Anyone can be a light. I think that's the coolest picture in the world. I think it's just amazing. Okay? So then, here it is, right here. This is when I started my poverty cycle. At the age of 5, I'll never forget it. My mother and my dad had just threw my mother out a plate glass window. As she lay there bleeding and crying, I went outside. I said, Mom, what you gonna do? As I turned around, I saw my dad walking off the other way. I chased after him. He said, boy, you got to stay. You got to stay here with your mama. What I tell people all the time, my mama was a stripper, and my dad, well, yeah, it's different. And so at that moment, at 5 years old, when I went to chase after my dad said he didn't really want me. Then I came back after my mom. My mom said, nah, I don't want you either. So when I was 5 years old, I realized it. Some people laugh, some people joke. At that moment in time, I didn't know what was up. So that was my first experience with the children's home, Wichita Children's Home. I like to explain it like back in the old days, they had these pet stores and they had glass windows, and people would come in and talk to you, and they would look at you, and then they, like foster families would walk through the foster home like this. Oh, okay. And I was blessed one day because my grandmother, she walked in the door. And I always give her, even at this day, I still give her mess. But I tell her, you like pick me out like I was a puppy dog. Like I'll take the white one in the back. I thought it was pretty funny. Then I moved to 29th in Arkansas in Wichita. That was different. That was really different. I'll get to that here in a little bit. Thank God for my grandparents. My grandparents, they raised me in this home right here. Okay? My grandmother was an emergency care foster giver. She raised 47 dudes. I'm the only white one. She kept 7 of us that didn't have moms and dads. If you've watched Step Bro or Four Brothers, some of y'all probably watched Four Brothers before. I say I'm Mark Wahlberg, but I'm really the skinny white boy that gets shot. Right? I'll be acting like I'm Mark Wahlberg, though. I'll be doing my push-ups and everything. What's funny is, man, is what you can't see in this house right here on the backside, the bathroom, is just plywood. 7 of us, man, we changed clothes every day. It was crazy because I was the littlest dude in the family. And so I'd go to school, man, and I'd have like double X t-shirts on. They'd be like, man, you weigh 100 pounds. What's wrong with you? I used to tell them I still look sexy. Watch out. Watch out. Come on now. So what y'all don't see is from that window over, man, we would sleep there and we would sleep in a sleeping bag. We would crack jokes. We didn't even know we were poor. The craziest story I got is when my grandmother, she had this rule I may get to it during a minute, but she had this rule from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. we couldn't be in the house during the summer. I said, man. She'd leave mustard and cheese sandwiches, a bag of 99-cent chips, some Kool-Aid with no sugar. Now, if you've ever had Kool-Aid with no sugar, it's called cherry water. There ain't nothing else in it. It's awful. It's awful. But I drank it. I was thirsty. It tasted better than the water hose. There we go. Oops. That's all right. You can go to the next one, please. 11 years old. Banging. You're right. 11 years old. I decided that I'd be a gangster. 11. I couldn't even tie my shoes right. I decided I'd be a gang member. I decided that it looked cool. I decided that they got the Cadillacs. I decided they had the BMWs. I decided they had the 22s that scared everybody. I decided when I went to Arkansas Gateway, a prison school for little kids, I decided that if I had clout, I'd be the man. That was the first time that I learned to be a gangbanger. Because I started, I don't tell this part of the story a lot, but I started Golden Glove boxing, right? And I started boxing, I started doing my thing, beating up people. It kind of felt good. Then people got scared, right? And at that time, you just didn't know no better because you didn't have no faith. You didn't have that spirit. You didn't feel like a kingdom citizen. All you lived by was just fear. And at 11, that was the first time I got arrested. That was the first time I got arrested. I got arrested for stealing 2 pieces of bubble gum and a blow pop. I got the blow pop from my girl, y'all. She didn't even want it. That's the jacked up part. That's messed up. Now, when I decided to be a gang member, my whole life changed. What I didn't tell you is I played football, basketball, baseball, boxed, played tennis. I did all those in college. So I did all those when I was that age too. My grandmother, man, I swear she thought it was the Olympic training grounds. That's how she trained us. It was the craziest thing in the world. There we go. Whoops, go back one. There we go. 13 to 16-year-old, grandma rules, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. We had to work. The grind is never going to teach you. My grandmother would wake me up wake us all up at 5 o'clock in the morning. See, I lied to my grandma, though. Every day she'd come home and be like, boy, why you got all that red on? You a gangbanging? Nah. I just like that color. I go to North, Grandma. That's our colors. I lied to her every day because I didn't want to disappoint her. But I knew she would be. Because one day I told her, when I first moved in with her, I told her, I said, Grandma, I'm going to be a professional athlete. She said, man, stop lying, man. I said, Grandma, I do not care. Tell me how I can become a professional athlete. Show me. So every day I wake up. Every day I wake up. At 5 o'clock, I'd shoot 100 threes. I'd make 100 threes. She'd be out there marking them up. Every day before I went to school, I lifted weights. Every day I trained. Every day I caught 100 football passes. Every day I pitched into the stupid barn thing. I was not a very good pitcher. But I did it anyway. And I didn't know it, man, but God was creating that relationship with my grandmother, and I didn't really know it, and I didn't understand it. And all that time, I kept lying to her. Some of y'all may be lying to somebody you love. Here's the deal. Some of y'all, and I'm going to say this, I'm doing a little improv. I normally don't do this, but I love this group already. Y'all have laughed twice. My whole life is built on that Eminem rap song at the end of 8 Mile, where he tells the dude about everything that he's done in his life, right? He doesn't hide any of it. He never hides none of the bad stuff. He tells everybody that everything that he's done wrong in his life, so what else do they got to do to say bad about him? I think God sometimes wants us to say that. What if you had to walk through every door you walk through, you had to say your worst sin? Even to the best Christians in here, I bet you'd have a problem. You wouldn't want to say it. Listen, I got some good ones. I'll be sitting there for like 5 or 10 minutes telling all my stuff. I'll be like, hold up, and this, and that. That's what I want you to think about, okay? Voila, professional. Hey, this is a good one, and this is probably for all the sports people in here. My grandmother said that she said we all had chores. Now listen, I lived in the middle of the hood, y'all. Hood. I don't know where. If you go back to the white house, there was no fireplace. Every morning I would chop wood, y'all. Thank you, somebody got it. I would chop wood and we didn't have a fireplace. She'd come outside, she'd be like, boy, because I swear at 96, she still don't know my name. Boy, you got that done yet? Grandma, where are we going? What are we doing with it? But every day I'd be out there chopping wood. And at that moment, man, I learned a lesson. First, don't question your grandmother. And second, there's something else bigger out there. And that's before I found God. Every time I'd hit that wood, the thing would bounce. It'd take me 3 or 4 hours, y'all. I had 4 pieces of wood chopped. She'd be like, hey, you good? No, I ain't good. My hands hurt. The axe almost hit me twice. But she taught me a valuable lesson. She taught me a valuable lesson. If you work hard and you do it when nobody else will say you can do it, you'll get it. Right? 16 years old, worst year of my life. So I told y'all I was a gangbanger. So I'm getting ready to start my junior year in high school. Still lying to my grandma. Getting ready to start basketball season. Don't get it twisted. I was pretty good. Don't let the old fake you right here. Okay? I had game. I'm still sexy. But I had game. And I was getting ready to play. VLB, rival gang, comes up to our car. Shoots one of my gang brothers. Dude dies in the car. Well, if you from where I'm from, you do what you do. That night, I jumped in the car. 6 of us, 9 AKs. We jump in the car. We decide to do our thing. We get a block away. This is where the skinny white boy, 4 brothers, this is where it comes in, y'all. 2 blocks away, I say, man, I can't do this. I got to get out. You can imagine what they called me. That's okay. I'm glad I got out. Long story short, they still did the deed. They shot up a home. But they shot up the wrong home. So we ended up, they were all over 18. I was 16. They arrested us. I was still on the corner crying. They arrested us. We go to booking. One of my brothers said, man, hey, you got to take it, dog. All right. So I took it. Back then, judges were cool, though. To be honest. Judge knew that I had nothing to do with it. Judge knew I had nothing to do with it. So he gave me every summer maximum security juvenile prison. I spent 3 summers in that place. Doesn't that look good? Kind of looked like a resort, right? Yeah, a swimming pool. I can't swim, though. I told that story earlier. I can't even swim. Good-looking pool, though. Crazy part of it, after all that, I still hadn't found it yet. I hadn't found what I was looking for. I spent 3 years during the summer. So I'd get to go during the school, and then during summer I'd get to go to my resort. Right? And the crazy part is, I still got to play at Pratt Community College. I didn't know nothing about Haviland, by the way. When I was at Pratt, I didn't know nothing about Haviland. I was real close. I could have came over a lot of times. Now, at Pratt Community College, oh yeah, this will impress the dudes in the back. Probably will only impress the dudes in the back. But I had 46 Division I offers out of high school. Yeah, I was all right, man. I told y'all. I was one of the top 500 McDonald's All-Americans. I was all right. But I couldn't read or write. I couldn't spell my name. My real name, y'all, is Jeremiah. I still go by JJ because, whew. It's in the Bible, though. I did find that, though. Uh-huh. Yeah. So, I switched it to JJ. And the cool part about it is when I got there, our coach said, man, we're going to get you a tutor. I said, oh, yeah. I'm about to get a tutor. What that meant at North that means somebody going to do my work. Man, I got to Pratt. It was this 98-year-old woman. I swear. I walked in like, oh, yeah, I'm about to get a tutor. Oh, who are you? No, I was supposed to have no. Then I had this like back in those days, y'all, we didn't have flat screens. We had real TVs that you had to go up and push the button to make it move. Right? This lady, the first day I'm there, comes and takes all the buttons off the TV. I said, hold up. She said, well, if you're going to learn to read, you're going to read SportsCenter. I said, oh. She taught me how to read by just taking the buttons off. I'm really proud of it now, though, because I got an associate's degree from Pratt. I got a bachelor's from West Virginia, and I just got my master's degree from Pitt State in leadership. Which just proves anything's possible. So all y'all that are tripping and saying that teacher sucks and they ain't trying to help you and blah, blah, man, hush. Hush. I already said it. Like, you can't hustle a hustler. Like, my kids come in, coach, man, coach what? Coach what? I couldn't read. What can you do? You 2 steps ahead of me. You already can read. So I went to West Virginia. That's back when it's the Big East, fellas. We sucked when we were there. Okay? I wasn't very good. Okay? We weren't very good. But it was awesome. I was a practice player for football. And boy, I went there as a basketball player like I'm going to be a dog, right? Y'all can already kind of feel my vibe. I think I'm sexy everywhere. I walked on the court, and there was a bunch of other dogs. And I ended up being a chihuahua. Yeah. So I ended up being a practice player there. Listen, y'all, I got redshirted twice. I got redshirted twice just to be a practice player. That's messed up. I know they laughing. I get it. I'd have left too. I was too stupid to. I didn't have a transfer portal back in my day, y'all. You couldn't just transfer anywhere you wanted to go. And by the way, I'd still been in trouble. The only ones ever going to take me were West Virginia or Idaho, and I didn't even know where Idaho was. So I ain't going there. That was the answer. Idaho? Nah, I'm good with you. So I ended up at West Virginia again. I just had great people with me. People helped me. I am struggling. There we go. So after being a practice player for forever, it felt like, I remember calling my grandmother and I said, Grandma, I got my bachelor's degree at West Virginia. I think I'm just going to get married, and I think I'm just going to live in New Jersey and work for this girl I'm dating's dad. It's like a bad country song. My grandma said, so you chopped all that wood to not do your dream. I said, man, I forgot all about the wood till she said it back. So I decided that I was still going to do it, y'all. So for y'all in the back that don't play 40 minutes a game and you mad and you didn't get to go to Duke, you can still do your dream. And the crazy part is when I graduated from West Virginia, I ended up trying out in Chicago. I went to Chicago in the Pro-Am. They all cut me. Then I went to Los Angeles. They cut me. Then I went to Atlanta. They cut me. I was trying to just make any team that paid me money. Then I went to Dallas, y'all. Went to Dallas. Dallas signed. I played for the Guadalajara Heat. Boy, I was just like Dwayne Wade, baby. I was just in a third world country. I lived, and it's not the pro life that y'all think it is. I lived in a motel with a dude from Congo. Neither one of us could understand each other, but we knew how to play Xbox. I'm dating myself now. The original Xbox. Cool part about it, man, is I got to play for 2 years. I did my thing. I made a lot of cash flow. My third year, just like normal, how my story kind of goes, I thought I was better than I was. Then I signed to go play at Peru. That was the next step. I was on my way to Europe, baby. Except for I was going down. I don't understand how it works, but I was going to Peru. We scrimmaged my first game in Peru. I scored 26 points. I thought, man, they will never get rid of me. Coach says, come to the office. Come to the office. He gives me a red slip, says, hey, we don't really need you. Thanks for coming. They paid my bus ticket from Peru to Guadalajara. Then I got another bus ticket from Guadalajara to El Paso. And then they said, well, I don't know how you get back to Kansas, but that's on you, dog. So in that time, guys, I got married twice. And I wasn't a very good human being. Some of you may be in here battle that same thing. I came home, had a divorce thing on the table, said, by the way, I'm pregnant. I lost it all, y'all. I lost my $100,000 home, my cars, everything. Because I didn't have any faith. I didn't have anything bigger than me. Getting close to that edge. I didn't have nothing bigger than me. Boy, I was still hot, though. Y'all all got quiet back there, man. Come on now. This is the part that hurts. I lost everything. I went from pro to living in a homeless shelter. And I don't know if y'all know nothing about no homeless shelter, but they only let so many people in. Somebody asked me, I had a little kid one time, I was telling my story, and they go, well, what happens if you don't get in, coach? I said, sweetheart, I love you, you're beautiful. That means you sleep under a bridge. In that cardboard box that y'all be making fun of, that's your bed. In that cardboard box, that other one, that's your pillow. Now, that's pretty embarrassing, but very humbling. And since this is a minister, I'm trying to also, I'm part of FCA. I'm the FCA sponsor at my school, right? And I think it's important to tell my story. Really important. Now you guys know why I tell prisoners my story, right? This one. I got a bunch of them, but this is the one that normally touches. Okay? Now, if you've ever ate at a homeless shelter, whew, I bet you your guys' cafeteria food's way better. Y'all just be tripping because you got to eat it every day. I know, I get it. If you ate Burger King every day, it doesn't taste very good. So what would happen, guys, is when you couldn't find a place to live in the homeless shelter, does also mean they didn't feed you. So then I'd eat out of a Burger King trash can. Now, that ain't bad for a McDonald's All-American, though, boy. Boy. When you humbled and you got to find the hamburger spot that somebody else ain't ate off of, and you so hungry you got to eat that part, boy, you start worrying. You start wondering. Right? You start wondering about what else can I do to be a better human being? What can I do? This is my wife now. She's the best thing in the world. Hey, you see how swole I am? Y'all see it? Don't play. Hey, the Chihuahua got it though. Look, boy, that's Sugar. That's the meanest dog in the world, y'all. Hey, but this is what I'm going to ask everyone in here right now. Some of you are further along in your walk. Some of you are big-time Christians. Some of you are probably, I hope, never had to go through the same things that I've been through, but maybe you are. But this is what I'm going to ask you, because this is what saved my life. This lady right here. She changed it. And so whatever relationship you're in, or if you're in or out of a relationship or getting ready to be in a relationship or maybe trying to do this relationship, ask her right now, ask her, would she get you out of a homeless shelter? And if you're a girl, ask yourself or ask him, is he worth going to get out of a homeless shelter? Don't trip. But I would try to find that human being that would get you out of a homeless shelter, because I promise you, life will kick you in your teeth. Right now, you're 19, 20, however old you guys are up to. And as we figured out now with COVID, it's kicking you. It's kicking the best Christians in the world. Imagine, and what kills me about Christian people is imagine what the people that don't have hope and don't have that feel. If you feel the way you feel, right? Because it's really easy to judge. Thank God I got my wife and my favorite little Sugar. Yeah, I'll tell you, if you didn't listen to anything I said, I'm paraphrasing now the Bible. I'm still learning, so don't judge me. But I'm pretty sure that's why God made Adam and Eve. So you could go through it together. And I'm going to say something to the men in here. But that's why Adam still stayed with Eve after all that stuff? I don't know. Ask yourself. I'm a fisher too. You see that, boy? I can fish. Boy, tell you what. I tell my wife all the time, I'm a catch. She's like, I'm going to throw you back. I said, all right, well, that's messed up. So when I got done being homeless and I was living from place to place and living under a bridge, doing whatever I could just to survive, I met my wife. And it's crazy because one of my brothers was living in Mulvane, Kansas. He said, man, you can stay here for a week and then you got to go. Isn't that crazy how sometimes your family will dog you like that? What you mean a week? But again, God was doing a miracle in my life. During that week, he had a neighbor. It was a little 4-year-old girl. And she said, hey, I heard your brother play pro ball. Will he coach my third grade team? I said, I heard her in the house. I said, bruh, do not answer her. I ain't doing it. He said, wait for him outside. We were getting ready to go work out. And then you ask him. He won't say no. I come walking out, this little girl, she says, hey, I heard you're a basketball player. Will you coach our team? Yes, I will. I started coaching third grade basketball. From a pro basketball player that played at West Virginia, played in the best conference in the country at Pratt. I started coaching third grade basketball. I was in a tournament. It was crazy. The Udall principal's kid was playing in the game. They were watching me coach and then offered me the head high school job. God is good. On time, baby. On time. All the time. I took that job at Udall. Boy, won a few games. Then I went to Dexter Cedarville. Won a few more games. A bunch of places that I had never heard of. Then I decided I'm going to take that leap of faith. And at that time when I was at Dexter Cedarville, man, I was making like good money. I was coaching everything, football, basketball, baseball, track, junior high, weightlifting, all of it. I was making good money. And then I said, you know what, babe? I am going to be a college coach. She said, okay, cool. I said, all right. So I applied at Brown Mackey College. That is a True Value hardware store, y'all, just so y'all know. I get the job. I'm the men's assistant and the women's assistant. I said, babe, I got the job. She said, cool, how much you getting paid? That's how, hey, wives are that way, ain't they? How much you getting paid? We're going to have to talk about this. I said, I'm getting $1,200. She said, a month? I said, nah, babe, all year. She said, oh my God. No, hold on. You giving up 60 G's for $1,200 a year? I said, yeah, I'm a college coach, baby. She followed me. Yeah, some of them are shaking their head like, I can't believe she did it. I'd have left you. You be on wife 4 right now. I know, I get it. It's all right. She stayed. I ended up being the associate head coach for men and women. I was also the all-time winningest coach here. We finished 3rd in the nation when I coached men. We finished 5th in the nation when I coached men. And then we were 3 points away from winning the national championship. On the women's side, we won a lot of 20-game seasons. I come home to my wife after my 3rd season at Brown Mackey. I said, I don't care. I'm ready to roll. I'm ready to be my own coach. She said, okay. I said, babe, Neosho County Community College just called me, and they want me to be their women's coach. She said, where is it? I said, it's in the southeast part of Kansas. Yeah, southeast part of Kansas. I showed up, guys, and at Sonic, they had people were on horses ordering food. My wife looked at me again. Look, the lady back there shaking her head again like, man, she should have left him. She should have left him. Last year, I ended up being the all-time winningest coach here at Neosho. I got a couple of job offers this summer. I was really excited to tell my wife, you'll be proud of me now. I was excited to tell my wife. She said, babe, we ain't going nowhere else. I said, oh, okay. See, but y'all, that all changed though, man. Because the time at Neosho, I became saved. Thank you. Thank you. That's real. And this thing in my life changed. This ticker changed. And it said, inspire 1 million people. Serve. So our number one core value at Neosho County Community College is serve. Our team is serve. Every one of my players does 70 hours of community service a year, each one of them. They're all good or I wouldn't recruit them. Duh. But what's missing is not all of them know how to serve. And not all of them have the same background. See, I'm kind of blessed. I came from a poverty cycle and have worked myself up out of it when I got pro ball, then back to it again, and now back up it again. I'm like a bad roller coaster. Right? And so I can't remember if I got another slide. Will you check? We check again? One more? Okay. I think that's it. But this is what I want you to know before I leave in closing. I know I talk too much. It's 12:02. Y'all were supposed to be gone 2 minutes ago. My bad. I'm like that teacher that says, sit down. I need y'all to hear this. It's tough, man. It's tough. And this is an amazing place. I've been here twice. The first time I didn't see a soul. Coach Post just walked me around the place. I lied. I saw a couple people. This time, though, I got to see some amazing faces. Even if they are behind masks. I see you smiling through your eyes. This is what I want you to know, though. It's never about you. I'm going to say that one more time. I'm going to go over here just so make sure my boys hear me, because when you go beat Southwestern tonight, it ain't about you. You can't play 1-on-5. Even though some of you want to. I get it. You a dog. It ain't about you if you've been a Christian 37 years. It ain't about you. It ain't about you if you're the president of the college and you're trying to grow it. What did you do to make other people believe in themselves? If you want to be a leader, and you want to be a kingdom citizen, and you want to do all of those things, you have to empower other people. And it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with God. I love you guys. Thank you. Thank you for having me today.